to the Gymnich. This, as you know, is an informal ministers' meeting where we'll have an opportunity especially to focus on our neighbourhood. I expect that Ukraine will feature in a prominent position as we think about how we support the people of Ukraine into the future. I think especially of the economy, of the elections that will happen, presidential elections 25th of May, support for the Rada, and the continuation of our work with our Eastern partners. In that context, of course, we'll also be discussing Russia. But I expect too that we will recall the terrible situation in Syria and our aspirations to support the people of Syria in a political solution. And again, I say to all of you how much we support the work of Lakhdar Brahimi in this very difficult time. But I think too to reflect on other nations, on the situation in Egypt, on I think actually the successes in Tunisia, and of course the situation in Libya.
Mrs. Ashton, after everything you hear every day, is there still a basis for cooperation with Russia?
You know, Russia is our huge neighbour, and in all of this situation we're looking to achieve two things. First of all, a de-escalation. You know what that means. That means in terms of troops on the ground. It also means in understanding that nations are entitled to make their own choices and that we will not recognise the annexation of Crimea. It also means recognising that we need to think carefully about our future relationships with Russia and with our partners in the East.
What is the European neighborhood policy in light of what's happened in Ukraine and Russia need a major overhaul? I mean, does the direction or the main goal of the neighborhood policy need to change?
You know, 16 countries in our neighborhood, all different, all requiring different approaches and needs. There are common issues about how the European Union, member states, our institutions can operate, the things we can do, the offer, if you like, that we can make. And I think what we've always sought to do is recognise that within a policy called the neighbourhood, you need to differentiate with individual countries. I expect, as I leave towards the end of my mandate, that the new High Representative and the foreign ministers will be looking at whether they need to have a different approach or whether they want to continue in the same way. And again, it's part of the discussion here. But the neighbourhood policy has served as well as a framework in which we've been able to work with our neighbours.
Last question, Jonathan.
How worried are you about the further Russian encroachment in Ukraine, given the developments on the ground in eastern, on the Russian border, and the dialogue between NATO and the Russian government?
Well, of course, I attended the NATO Foreign Ministers meeting this week, and I've been in contact with Secretary General Rasmussen as well as our partners. We are watching very carefully what happens. The description that somehow troops were moving back has not been verified by NATO. It is really, really important that Russia shows that it is serious about de-escalation by moving troops back. And that's something that I hope we will see happening, but we're watching with great care what's happening now. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.